What's up, everybody? What's going on, guys? So last week I streamed. I did some Madison VR, and I decided to come back and hang out with you guys. This is going to be more a mental break from me because I just need fellow humans. So let's go! Salvador, what's up? Maine, Zeno, what's going on, guys? Thanks for being here. Arlen, I always see you around, buddy. What's up? Pixel, Sean, Jasper, Black. I'm shortening everyone's name. Thank you guys for popping in so quickly, hanging out with me. This is, like I said, a little bit of a mental reprieve for me. I haven't had human contact. That sounds weird. I haven't spoken to anybody like all week long. My wife's been working all week. Haven't seen her. So yeah, this is the most human interaction I've had all week. So you guys are entertaining me more than I'm entertaining you. So thank you for being here. So yeah, we'll just hang out. And we are going to just, I'll take your questions like I used to forever ago. If you guys have never seen me on live, I used to do this like once a week. Just hang out, talk about stuff, trying to connect with my audience a little bit more, and just be chill. Maybe I'll stream games here and there. I'm thinking about doing OVR Dark next week because it's coming to PC. So I'm thinking about doing that. I heard the PlayStation release was a little janky, but good. I haven't tried it. So I'm going to try... I'll try it on PC. See how that goes. So what's up? Humans are overrated. Love the content. Thank you, dude. Toady, thank you. What's up, Mark? It's good to be seen, I guess. I wish I could say the same. Good to see you. So yeah, I have that nice little picture up discussing the future of VR, but we can really discuss everything. I have been doing the VR shtick for 5 years now. Shtick? Probably not the right word. But I've been in the VR scene for about 5 years now. I'm loving it. You guys make it possible, so I got to say thank you, guys. And yeah, this is just hanging out, having a good time. Do you have a dream flat game that you would love to see in VR? So for the longest time, people used to say, I want this game in VR. I want this game in VR. And we tried that. Like people tried to emulate certain games in VR, like Aspire 1 was Metal Gear in VR. And we tried that with a lot of games, and I don't think it's super successful. I think VR has to find its own path. Now, I do have a game I want. I want a 4-person co-op RPG inspired by things like Dungeons and Dragons with some MMO elements. And I have like a laundry list of what I want to see in that game and what's possible and what's come from other games. And I think like the closest thing there is Legendary Tales and Dungeons of Eternity. They're not quite what I'm looking for. They miss a certain aspect of VR, like your persona. So like a lot of RPGs is role playing and character creation. So that's one thing that's missing. That's one thing you get in something like VR chat. You get to make your character or choose a character and just like interact with tons of people. So that's the MMO aspect I want. But then in the meantime, I want you to be going on quests with your like 4 closest buddies and everyone using their unique skills and attributes to basically, get you through the quest, traps, strategic combat, you name it. That's the game of my dreams. Jasper, yeah, I did a 24-hour stream. God, that was 2-3 years ago. I think it's approaching 3 years ago. I had not a co-host, but I had a slew of people join me throughout the day. Like I didn't want it to be boring. So I had like guests show up all day. I think the first one was Anna Byrne, who I love. If you've never seen Anna Byrne, her content is amazing. She does a lot of mixed reality content. She's lately been doing a lot of trailers for video games. So she's awesome. Amazing person. Love her to death. Haven't spoken to her for like forever, but she was out of the scene for a hot minute, but she's back. And then, yeah, I had like Soul Fox on and all my buddies came on throughout the day. All right. Let's see. See Azeroth in VR. See, I'd want to kind of see that world from a VR perspective, but I don't think it works as a VR game. I don't think MMO mechanics work. They're too grindy. They're too, cooldown and button press reliant. I think that's, we saw it in Zenith. They tried to emulate an old school MMO and in my opinion failed. Like they achieved some really serious stuff on a technological standpoint, but overall I feel like they failed on a game, and you could see that money wise, they're Done for, pretty much. Official GTA VR, no question. That would be sick. I think we're like 20 years from that being a possibility, like a real GTA Online VR, but yeah. Demio cross with Zenith and some Legendary Tales. Kind of, maybe, Mark, sort of. Take Legendary Tales. Give it a massive character creation. Like, one thing I think is missing is obviously character creation. That game doesn't have one. So you want to have different classes and an attribute system. And one thing I believe, especially for VR, is appearance and like things like emotes and stuff should be tied to your attributes. So as you get stronger, you have the option to make your character look beefier and beefier as you increase your strength. And as you do something like Constitution, let's say, make them look more and more ripped. So if you have a high Constitution and high strength, it unlocks the ability to make your character look like super bulky and ripped. You don't have to make them look that way, but you can. And then if someone hits you with like a spell mid-game that reduces your strength, it's going to bring you down to like the next biggest one. So immediately people will see, oh my God, you're scrawny now. What happened to you? So like that's one thing I'd love to see. You have a super high dexterity, like it would change the gait of your character and maybe even do things like give the emotes like backflips and stuff that other characters can't do. So if you had maxed out stats, you could do like emotes like juggling and backflips and also be beefy. And that's what I think is missing. Because that would make you want to interact with people. And that also, the second you walk into, let's say, an online tavern, this would be the MMO aspect of it. You walk into an online tavern, you know who the big shots are. Wow, that is one beefy boy over there. This guy's got gleaming armor. You know, look at that person's gait, or, you know, his sword is glowing. So you kind of immediately know those are, you know, those are the champion warriors. And that's kind of what I'd love to see. That's the whole VR aspect that I think is missing from RPGs and you know, yeah, RPG games in VR. Not that we have a lot of RPG games. Let's see if I missed any questions. But keep the questions coming, guys. It might take me a minute to get to you, but I will answer them, and I ramble on. Eric, what's up? PSVR2. You are a shit. Eric, what's going on, buddy? Eric is my boy. Eric's works in the VR industry now. He used to be on the whole YouTube scene, but he hasn't been for a while. But he's a great dude. Eric, I miss you, buddy. We gotta hang out one day. I'll fly over there. All right, let's see what else is going on. A VR Battlefield FPS. Someone tried that. I can't remember the name of the game. The problem is we have such high expectations on games like that because we've been playing them for years. There's no budget like that, and there's no studio willing to take on the challenge to bring a game of that caliber with all the mechanics and everything into VR. So we're always going to get like a neutered or watered down version of what we know and love, and it won't be a great VR game. It won't be a better Battlefield. So you end up with a mediocre title. My opinion. Can you cover exposed scammers like Nofio, Lynx, and Somium? Okay, I'm not fully up to date on Somium, but I have spoken at length on both Nofio and Lynx. I will say, I don't believe either Nofio or Lynx were scammers. I believe they bit off way more than they can chew. Like, people don't understand how long it takes to go from prototype to mass production, even though there's not real mass production. The only one who's kind of capable of that is someone like Meta. If you look at the Valve Index, that has 2017 hardware in it, and it released in 2019. That's a 2-year hardware gap. That's how long it takes to go from, hey, we got everything built, we can mass produce it now, and we can get it out the door. It's a 2-year gap. There's 2017 hardware in a 2019 product. So, and that's Valve. Valve is, you know, they're not small potatoes. Now, when it comes to Nofio, I don't know what really went wrong. I believe, this is what I've heard, that all their original testing was not using the standard like signal frequency that is required in certain countries. So they built this product, Wi-Fi 6. Best I could tell, it's good hardware. It seems like a good product, pretty solid. It has, you know, certain flaws that I've discussed in videos, but it looked overall solid. Then they go, oh crap, we're importing this to America. It's not up to standard. Make some changes. Now it performs like absolute garbage. I think that's what happened to them. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but my Nofio performs like absolute garbage. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. I cannot recommend it. Let's scroll back up and see what I missed. Okay. Looking for a next-gen PCVR HMD. Would you recommend Pimax Crystal Light? Even with all its... so, it's a Pimax product, and you even brought that up. I'm yet to try a Pimax product that I'm just like, yes, this is hands down great. I've always had issues out of the box with them. I've always had to tinker. They're always, so as I adjust myself, there's always something not right with them. And I've never used one at length. Like, I've always been too bothered by them. The 8KX had too many issues with like warping, ran like crap. I don't get it. It's honestly hard to believe they're still in business. The Crystal Light might be okay, but from the Crystal I tried, they sent me 2 broken units. Again, it had a lot of issues, a lot of software flaws, and now they've cut me off. They went from the CEO talking to me, hey, we're going to make sure this is up to snuff. You're going to enjoy the headset. It's going to be great. To, we're not answering a Discord, an email, a DM, a nothing. I am blacklisted. So, yay. Let's see. Anyway, as someone who hasn't kept up with the VR world for over a year and a half, what's the most important thing I need to catch up on? A year and a half. I guess if you haven't noticed, the industry has completely shifted to mobile. I mean, we knew it was going that way. Meta is more dominant than ever. The biggest budget games are coming out on Quest, and the reboot of the industry is kind of complete. PCVR isn't dead. It's not dying off. It's kind of just stagnant, gets a little bump here and there. Some cool things like UEVR happen, which is the universal mod injector, but there's still not enough money and enough push in the VR industry to really like make a dent. It's really not moving. So it's like a straight line with an occasional little bump. It's not dying by any means, but the VR industry is also like really, they're the hardest people to please. So that's rough. But again, I don't blame them. You spend $2,000 on a PC, $1,000 on a headset. You want the best of the best. Unfortunately, software isn't there. Have you seen the new VR game Kid Pilot? I have Kid Pilot. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. It's still, there's an embargo time. I will talk about it in the future. So Kid Pilot looks cool. I mean, it's not my go-to game, but I've noticed that what VR does is takes me out of my like normal comfort zone and makes me, kind of just enjoy things I've never expected to enjoy, like Moss or Astrobot. I didn't care for platformers. Those games are fantastic. Super Hot, like things that are just different. I really enjoy. I'm going to pause for 1 second and just say, hey guys, if you're here, if you're hanging out, appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Always helps. If you're watching my videos, you enjoy them, thumbs up. If you're here and you, for some reason, aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Always helps my channel. It's the only thing I ask for you guys. All right, so let's get back to the questions. Do you think Pimax could be bankrupt if their new headset doesn't sell? Do you see how their headset... So they constantly do this, and this is like tech snake oil. This is what a lot of people in the tech industry do. They kind of just announce something new and bring up a new shiny project, make tons of new promises that, oh yeah, it's coming out next year. It's really 4 years away, just to keep like some sort of money coming in. Like they've done that. Hey, buy this headset now and you can get a full rebate when you return it for the Crystal. And now they're doing, oh, here's a trial. So you could only pay a little bit, get your headset, and if you want to keep it, you pay the rest. They're doing everything to make sure just money keeps coming in, introduce new products, whatever, get people excited, get new investors, whatever the case may be. And I think that's how they've stayed afloat because, I mean, honestly, otherwise I don't know how they survive. Still waiting for the deck of gear. Keep waiting, buddy. Keep waiting. I mean, when that got announced, I was like, this is too good to be true. Everyone destroyed me. I spoke to them a little bit. When things eventually, like, we're going to have a prototype unit to you in December, I don't know, December 2020. I'm like, oh, awesome. December 2020 rolls around. They're like not picking up the phone. I'm like, uh-oh, this is the bummer. And how many people paid $10 and never got it back? All right. Hi, Mateo. What's the average price for a Quest 3? Really want to join the VR community. Quest 3 is $500. The starting model is $500, and then if you're in the US, and then then it's $600, I believe, for the 512, 128 and 512. Yeah. Lord Drifter responded to you. What's your opinion on the index having gone out of stock? Probably permanently. It's about time. Like, I don't say that negatively. I love the index. The index was absolutely fantastic. A great headset. And only recently did I give up on it. I gave up on it after the Nofio. Because, you know, a couple of things I noticed with my index. Now that I'm so used to like pancake lenses and stuff, it's hard to go backwards. It's really hard to go backwards. And the index has some flaws for sure, but for the longest time, and honestly still to this date, it's the best overall package. Best audio, best mic, really nice FOV. I thought it had really good clarity. And by standard, you know, by today's standard, it's got a ton of glare, and actually clarity is actually really good, but it's got a ton of glare and the panels are low resolution. But overall, solid headset, and no one's beat it on every spec yet. No one. I know like Pimax will say no one has. So I've been waiting for the longest time for a direct upgrade, but I gotta say, I've been using this, and I honestly hated this headset. Hated the Quest Pro. I've been using this for PCVR. Now that they've done some, you know, I've been using the Steam Link app, which seems to work great. I've been using that. Sometimes I'll go to Virtual Desktop or even AirLink, but Steam Link has been working great for me. Super smooth, really easy. And this headset has a lot of features you really don't get anywhere else. It's higher resolution than my Index for sure. It's got pancake lens. It's got eye tracking. It's got local dimming. So the colors on this are great. So I've been happy with this. I've been happy with this for PCVR. Latency, I don't feel anymore. Latency used to really bother me back in like the Quest 1 days. Latency doesn't really bother me. So I've been happy using this for PCVR. It's just easier. Like, I don't have to play games with like the Nofio, getting that to start up for wireless. I'm getting so used to wireless. I'm enjoying it. For the longest time, the cable didn't bother me. Now it does. But yeah, so that's what I've been using for PCVR. And again, it's not a direct upgrade from the Index, but it's good enough. VR Rat, hey, right back to you. All right, let's catch up on these messages. Yeah, I like my Pimax, but it's still beta. But see, here's the thing. Just the guy doing stuff. The Pimax is always in beta. Like, every Pimax I've always received is always in beta. And it's in beta to the day they announce a new product. And they kind of like forget the old one. Drives me nuts. Okay. Let's see. Top 5 best games for Quest. I would say Resident Evil 4. Asgard's Wrath 2 is absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to think of Quest exclusives, which honestly, there aren't many. Assassin's Creed, Nexus. I mean, those are probably like the biggest 3 exclusives. Everything else is multi-platform. So like, you pretty much say, well, it's not better on Quest. Quest always has reduced graphics. But Underdogs is great. Yeah, Underdogs is great. For some reason, the game sounded wrong, the name in my head. But Quest exclusives are the only ones that are coming to my head. All right, let's keep moving. Nowadays, okay. Do you think the PSVR2 could have done better if it had pancake lenses? I don't know. So for the longest time, I heard you don't mix pancake lenses with an OLED screen because then it's dim. And that was like the case I saw with my Big Screen Beyond. It's pretty dim compared to other headsets. My newer model seems a little bit brighter, but it's pretty dim. Now, a bigger issue I have with OLED is the high persistency, which is just So I don't really think it's the pancake lens. I think it's more the choice of OLED. I don't think OLED is great for VR right now. I know people want those deep blacks and stuff like that, but the colors on this are fantastic. And this is an LCD panel. Something special, local dimming and stuff. But honestly, I don't think they made the right choices. So the high persistency is noticeable. Their reprojection is terrible, which is more software related. And that like anti-glare grain they have on the screen is pretty bad. Now, all of those I get past and they're not major issues. More is also an issue on that headset, but all of those I get past. I don't think it's a bad headset. I'd probably say one of the worst things is the tracking. See, I don't mind that it's an old school lens because the clarity's okay. You know, the edge-to-edge clarity is good enough. The sweet spot is good enough. I'm able to lock into it. But I think, and the fact that it's clunky and big doesn't matter because it's so light. So I don't really think the lens itself was the killer for me. I just think they're not banging out the software they need to. All right. I didn't mention Dungeons of Eternity. That's another top quest game. That game's fantastic. Dungeons of Eternity is fantastic. Let's see. Dungeons of Paternity. That's what I feel like I'm in my daily life. I'm in the dungeons of paternity. Honestly, that's how rough it feels to just be a parent with my wife working so much. Let's see. No globular cluster mod on Pro. No, I'm okay with this. I mean, I don't need it. I haven't been uncomfortable, so it's fine. Do you use eye tracking on PCVR? Rarely, ever. Rarely. Let's see. Gorilla Tag is literally number one. Come on, Gorilla Tag. I just can't do it. Vive is the only real wireless solution. So I had a Vive wireless adapter and I liked it. I know people crapped on it. It was pretty expensive. I think it was like $2 something at the time. I thought it worked really well, except for the fact that it got a little warm on the back of your head. But besides that, I thought it worked really well. The only problem is you have to put it on a freaking Vive. And my Vive and my Vive Pro kind of just sucked. They were terrible. I hated those headsets. Let's see. Can you say happy 17th of May? It's Norway's National Day. Happy Norway National Day. Happy 17th of May. We're a week away from my birthday. Defector is fantastic. Defector was a Rift game. Defector was really, I don't want to say fantastic. It was a jack of all trades, did a lot of them good, nothing perfect, but honestly, solid game. If you could take parts from different VR headsets to make your own brand new one, what parts would you take from what headset? All right, here we go. We're definitely taking the Index's speaker and microphone. We're going to take a pancake lens, and there's really no panel I want. I want the LCD panel that's in here at higher resolution. Not much higher. We don't have to go much higher, but the panel that's in here, because it's got great colors and brightness and everything, I want the panel that's in there at higher resolution. So my headset doesn't exist. I want the Deckard, baby. Bring on the Deckard. All right. Someone said Alex. Alex is PCVR. I'm unboxing my Quest 3 in about 15 minutes. So excited. You should be excited, man. Been watching videos to prepare. Definitely go check out some of my lists. Find some great games. There's amazing older games. If you've never played VR before, if the Quest 3 is your first VR headset, take it slow. Don't rush into things. You know, you might have a little motion sickness. I was actually talking to an electrician who was in my house the other day fixing some stuff. He saw all the junk in my house and he's like, oh, what do you do? And I was talking about VR and he's like, I tried. I got motion sick. I never picked it up again. I felt terrible. All right. Let's see. Yes, Europe does get effed when it comes to hardware prices. Homelander. Homelander is here. A little nervous, guys. Let's see. I'm catching up. I'm behind on the chat. I'll speed up. I liked your video with your D&D room. You should. So I would love to talk about my D&D stuff more, but it's not right for the channel. It'll tank. I would love to set up secondary channels with D&D, with the workout stuff, with barbecue. These are like all things I'm passionate about. And I filmed a lot of this stuff, but sometimes I'll drop it on that stuff. I'll drop on my Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. So follow me in those places. Catching up. If the big screen beyond had fully clear lenses and no blurry edges, would that sway you from the index? Probably. Yeah. I would say the biggest issue, the biggest issue besides the fact that I can't share the headset is just the poor edge-to-edge clarity. That's my biggest issue. The microphone is good enough. The audio solution on their head strap is surprisingly good. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And the FOV is a big pain. Okay. This is the sound I make when I'm scanning the chat. Man, I'd love to hop in this call with you. VR maybe. I'm not set up for that right now. I wouldn't be against it. It's just on the fly right now. I kind of wonder what direction it might go. We've never had any conversations before. It's a little sketchy there. It's like taking a live phone call. But yeah, no, definitely. DM me. We'll set something up at least at some time. Eye tracking is great for foveated rendering. Otherwise, foveated rendering is unusable. So I do not like static foveated rendering. It is very noticeable. However, they have updated it to make it a lot less apparent. Like you could do foveated rendering just very, very low at the bottom. So unless you're looking for it, it's much harder to see. So foveated rendering has improved. The issue with eye-tracked foveated rendering is it doesn't help at the Quest resolution right now. So the Quest 3 resolution is actually pretty high, even higher than the PlayStation VR2, but no games render. I said that word a little funny. No games render at that resolution. So what ends up happening is you wouldn't benefit from eye-tracked foveated rendering. So that's probably why it's not on the Quest 3. So when you get the high resolutions, that's when you see the benefit of it. When you get to like the PlayStation resolution, when you're at 2000 by 2000 per eye, when you start getting there, you see the benefits. So we don't need it just yet. But yeah, in the future, there's going to be a sweet spot for it for sure. All right. I think I missed one. You wouldn't pick the AVP panels. I don't have any experience, Pixel, with the Apple Vision Pro, unfortunately. I thought about ordering one, and then I looked at the price tag, and I said, I'm never going to use this thing. I called my local Apple store to set up an appointment to test one, and at that point, they had no appointments available, and at this point, I'm not interested anymore. So, yeah. The Index 2 Fake was absolutely heartbreaking for sure. It was really, really rough. When that popped out, I went to one of my buddies. I'm like, this looks so real. And he's like, yeah, but it's fake. I'm like, yeah, but it's a good fake. He's like, oh, for sure. What I did was I did a domain scan of who owned the domain to see for the website. And I'm like, this is not Valve. Nice try. All right. Play sitting. That must Joshua. That must have been a comment to something else. Sup, homie? What's up, Todd? I'm catching up on the chat. I'm really far behind. I'm answering questions, and I like to ramble. But Todd, thank you for jumping in, my brother. It's good to see you here. Let's see what's going on. What's the best workout software on Quest 3? My favorite has been Supernatural. Unfortunately, a subscription service. But it was the only one that made me feel like I wasn't working out, and I didn't mind doing it. I did it for about 100 days straight, every single day. Got fairly ripped in the process. So that was actually really fun. Like I said, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd take my kids to school, and then I'd throw it on for 30 minutes. I'd break a nice sweat. I didn't feel like I was, oh, I got to work out. Oh, I got to do cardio. Nah, I didn't feel like that. I just had fun. I punched some stuff. It was good. So overall, for me, it was Supernatural. The next one was Les Mills. Les Mills Body Combat. That one's a good workout too. Fit XR is pretty, a lot of them are pretty good, but those were my two favorite. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I got massive sickness yesterday. See, yeah, if you're new to VR, take it slow. A lot of people who have been in the VR scene for a long time want to up the ante as much as possible. Higher immersion, put me on a cliff, throw me around, shake the screen. But people who are getting into VR for their first time, no. And it's kind of like when you play a first-person shooter, brand new game. Say Gears of War 17 comes out. And the first thing they do, it's like, press trigger to shoot. Press A to hurdle. And it's like, Jesus Christ, everybody knows this stuff. No, for one person or 1,000 or 1,000,000 people, this is their first person shooter experience. So you got to take those steps. You always got to take those newbie steps. All right. I'm still waiting on Meta's augments. Yeah, those were supposed to be out. Augments would be pretty cool. I don't think I'd enjoy them until the headset gets super sleek. Until we have like a big screen beyond headset for augmented reality, a headset I wouldn't mind wearing all day long. I don't give a crap about augments. But when we do have that, I'm wearing that headset all day long. You know, when there's no latency on it and everything's good and I can walk around and it doesn't impede my ability. Like the other day I had the Quest 3 on and I was trying to type and it kept making me miss the keys. Like I wasn't trying to sit there and like, you know, type a story where you don't look down, but I was just trying to like type a code to someone. I don't know, my contractor showdown code. I was putting in Discord or something like that. And I was looking at my keyboard and it wasn't lining up right. I kept just smashing the wrong key. And I'm like, what is going on? So it wasn't, the angle was off. So until it's as good as your regular eyesight plus extras, I'm not interested in augmented reality, really. Yes, I would definitely watch a D&D channel. I'm probably going to be DMing in the near future. I'm currently in a campaign that's been going on for almost 2 years now. Just hit level 8. I'm a beefy paladin half orc, and my god is evil, and I love D&D. But I'm not going to get on a tangent on that. But nah, I can't do a D&D channel. I can't. It's just too much. I barely keep up with this channel. Are you planning to continue streaming? I think I am. I think I enjoy this. I think I miss you guys. I think I am. If you guys want me to continue streaming, make sure you leave a comment on this video. Like, I don't think you leave it right now. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Do that. All right. Or come by another whatever and say, please stream. Remind me. Let me know that, you know, you guys want me to be here and I'll do my best to keep streaming. Like I said, next week, I think I'm going to do OVR Dark. I'll put the strap on for the heart rate monitor. We'll get into that because it's coming out on PCVR. So boom. Let's see. Take my live phone call. No. Taboo topics only. Yeah, let's talk about abortion, politics, religion. Let's do that. The lines are open, people. Let's talk about religion. All right. Yeah, start with something easy. My recommendation for first type of game is Space Pirate Trainer. Do Space Pirate Trainer. Are you getting a Somium? I'll reach out to the guys. I haven't been following Somium because I didn't think it was, one, going to make a splash, and two, I don't know. I just like, I got a vibe. All right. And usually my vibes are right, but they could be wrong. So I will reach out to them and, you know, see if I hear anything, if they're willing to work with me. The immersed guys have kind of been like a little flaky. Like at first they're like, yeah, what's up? But I feel like they just wanted me to, you know, like help promote their stuff, help talk about their stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to test your stuff. I don't want to promote something I don't know about, but I don't want to badmouth them because I don't know much about what's going on there. Ginger ale and fan blowing on you. So ginger ale is a myth. Ginger ale, it doesn't contain real ginger. However, ginger itself, get ginger tablets, chew on ginger root. That does help. That does help with nausea. Probably the best advice for if you get nauseous in VR. Stop the second you feel any discomfort. Not like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little weird. I'll give it 10 more minutes. No. The second you feel slightly weird, you get out of VR, you take a break, you know, have some water, take a break for at least an hour, and then you'll build up a tolerance. So maybe if it's 15 minutes on Monday, and then you did 2 15-minute sessions on Tuesday. By Friday, you're like, oh, I could sit in here 20, 25 minutes. And then you do that, and after like 3 months, the average person is fine. You know, no more motion sickness. Fan blowing does help too. Let's see. Pistol whip is good for exercise. That is definitely true. Wow, I am way behind on this chat, guys. What gen console do you think the Quest 3 compares to in performance? Ouch. Here's the thing. It's hard to do an apples to apples comparison because a big aspect of it is the fact that software improves too. So when you get 5-10 years down the road, you can get a lot more out of hardware just by software improvements. On a teraflop standpoint, That's how they usually like to rate the GPUs. I think it's only something like a GTX 1050. And a GTX 1050 might be like, I don't know, an Xbox One, if that much. Sam, don't send me money. Don't send me money. Well, or do. No. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Most anticipated game I will get to in 2 seconds. But comparing it to consoles is kind of unfair. Plus, there's greater demands for VR than on a console game. So you need, a dual output. You need a higher frames per second. Like a lot of games now, modern games are releasing at 30 frames per second, which is an absolute joke. Meanwhile, you want 90 projected twice for VR. So it's apples to oranges, but on a hardware standpoint, we're looking at something like, 1 or 2 generations ago. PlayStation 3. It's true. Okay. Wait, let me answer Sam's question. Samo, most anticipated VR game this year, Batman. Hands down, Batman. It's from Camouflage. They did a great job with Iron Man. I'm pumped for it. I know some people might say Metro VR or Behemoth. I have high hopes for Behemoth, but after Saints and Sinners 2 launched kind of buggy, I'm a little skeptical. I did run into one of the main developers for Behemoth at PAX East. I was trying to get information out of him. He was a funny guy. He was just like, yeah, keep trying. Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that question. Keep trying. And I kept trying to weasel my way into getting any answers, like just rephrasing the question differently or going on a tangent about one thing about how good aspects of Saints and Sinners were. Like, I love the combat where you stab. Are you introducing something like that in Behemoth? And no, I couldn't get anything out of him, but he was cool. I know he's very talented. He did, it was the guy who did To the Top. So yeah, so Behemoth, I'm pretty pumped for. Metro, not completely my style. That world isn't really my style, but Metro, I'm pretty excited for. Oh, definitely, forgot to mention, Zombie Army. What's the full name? It's from the Sniper Elite. So Zombie Army VR. What's the full name? Why am I blanking on this? It's so funny because that's another developing team. That's Rebellion. I met them at PAX East in 2019 when they were showcasing Sniper Elite on PlayStation VR 1. And I said to them, you really should take your Zombie Army game and make that in VR. I think that would work really well. And they're like, that's a good idea. Now, they probably had this idea already. I'm not taking any credit, but yeah. So way back then in 2019, I proposed that to them. Let's see if I missed anything in the comments while I was going on a ramble. Really excited about, but the big screen beyond, only to find out mixed reviews. Yeah, it's mixed. Pimax, Crystal, Super Thoughts. Pimax, anything, I am super skeptical. Super NES was your favorite? I was not a big Super NES guy. That was back in the Tube TV days. I did Tube TV. Okay. Yeah, can't compare to consoles. You really can't. Into the Radius 2 is releasing in early access. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. Into the Radius is amazing. Again, not my style. It's just not something that really pulls me in. I was actually playing Convergence today. Yeah, Convergence, which used to be called Paradox of Hope. That was the game that everyone was calling, oh, this is Metro in VR. And then they got kiboshed. It basically, what is it? Digital, silver, whatever. They said, nope, cease and desist. So they reworked their game into a new title. It's currently in early access. I was playing that today. Solid. It still has a Metro feel, Into the Radius feel, but it's coming along nicely. I was impressed. Oh, Jesus. Stefan, how did I forget Alien, man? How did I forget Alien? So I'm skeptical on that one too, only because the last game that they released was The Walking Dead Onslaught. Servios released and Servios used to be my favorite VR studio back in the day. They're big PCVR roots. The Walking Dead Onslaught was a total flop. So yeah, I'm not super excited there. All right, let's see. Arcanage, I don't know. We talked about vibes. Arcanage didn't pass the vibe check. I don't know why. I could be so wrong. I haven't tried it. And I know nothing against the developer, the team, the game. Just something about it just didn't feel right to me. I hope I'm so wrong on that. So when people say what you're excited about, I never mention that game because I'm honestly not. Of all VR games, Skyrim modded with Wabbajack mod is still my go-to. I've spent more time modding that game than actually playing it. So I have a bad relationship with Skyrim. I played it, 2,000 hours, 17 years ago. And by the time I got it in VR, I'm like, I don't want to play Skyrim again. And it's like, but you modded, it's better, but it's still Skyrim. And I just can't get past it. What I do want to get into, and tell me what you guys think about this, I'm thinking about doing a series on Fallout VR, Fallout 4 VR. I'm going to bring my treadmill, my catwalk VR down here and just do the whole setup. And maybe we'll live stream that one day a week. Like we'll walk around Fallout. But how much can I get done in like an hour walking around the wasteland? Nothing really. LAN VR. LAN was okay. LAN didn't feel right to me. And I'm big about the feel. Like when I stab something, I want the satisfaction of stabbing something, as sick as that sounds. Saints and Sinners is one of the games that delivers that better than anything. Gotta have the Batmobile. You know what? I really hope they have the Batmobile. It would be a miss. VR Rat, don't send me money. Don't send. Guys, thank you very much. Honestly, I do really appreciate the support. It does mean a lot to me. Into Darkness. What's Into Darkness? Let's see. Did I say something wrong? I could have definitely said something wrong. I love my big screen Beyond. What I'd want in a 2 is a bigger FOV. Yes. And audio strap to come standard. I agree with you. If you could get rid of the glare, or rather the poor edge-to-edge clarity, increase the FOV, and make the strap standard, you got a very solid headset. The only other thing I'd say there is 120 frames per second, maybe eye tracking because you had a very high resolution, and yeah. Okay, is Arizona Sunshine 1 and 2 the best zombie game? I would give it to probably After the Fall rather than Arizona Sunshine 1 and 2. They're good. They're very fun. They're good with a buddy. Arizona Sunshine 2 was like overly easy on normal. I was just like mowing through zombies. So yeah. Still prefer PCVR over standalone. Overwatch, is that a statement or a question? Either way, I still kind of prefer PCVR. The only problem is PCVR stagnated and we're just not getting anything like solid for it. A lot of times when I get new games, I get the release on Quest first. That's why I cover Quest more. It's not, I'm a Quest shill or a Quest fanboy. I usually just get the release a lot earlier on Quest. So that's why I cover it on Quest. I usually jump into the PlayStation version or PCVR version just to see if it feels different and what the graphical difference is. Sometimes it's huge. Sometimes it's not much. It's not worth it to the developers to put so much extra effort into a PC or a PlayStation version because the audience is smaller there. And plus, these are also a pickier audience and they're less likely to spend their money, believe it or not. Okay. I got VR headset recently and played Saints and Sinners 2. It was a great experience. Seems like it's mostly fixed. It is mostly fixed. They did great strides, but the original jankiness threw me off and I stopped playing. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you, Zell. I appreciate it. Okay. VR Rat, here's your question, buddy. Sorry it took so long to get to it. Would you be willing to shout out Divergent Reality creators? Oh, of course I would. Of course I would. So they're doing a Quest 3 giveaway? Yeah. So do you have me on Discord or anything, dude? I will definitely drop that link here. I am a huge supporter of Cards and Tankards. I was never a trading card game fan, and I absolutely love that game. It sucked me in. I've done some content for them. It is an amazing experience. It's free. If you haven't played Cards and Tankards, if you're new to VR, it's a game you could try. You won't get motion sick. It's a trading card game. You go build your deck, and then you basically go into a tavern. There'll be people in there hanging out. You can make some friends. You could practice, or then you go sit down and have a real game against one another. As you play, you're going to earn some credits. You buy new cards. You unlock new cards. You get some like things to work around in the world, like a sword and like a wand that does slow motion, and of course, tankards of beer. So it's a really, really great game. I highly recommend it. If you haven't tried it, just try it. It's free. What did the developer of Convergence say? The developer of Convergence just said today that the launch went well. He doesn't have to get another job and can continue working on it. Amazing to hear. I should really reach out to him, but I'm in 7 million different places in my life. Horror is perfect for VR. Okay. Any advice for a complete chicken like me? Honestly, little things. Little things can help. Lower the volume on your headset so jump scares won't be as scary, because a lot of times what will happen is the jump scare is so loud it overwhelms your senses. So just lower the volume a little bit and it won't freak you out half as much. The other thing is, like, a headset like this with open sides, believe it or not, more light gap, reminds you you're in your room. That's a little bit less scary. I honestly feel I find scary games not scary at all when I'm having an audience. So if you play it with people in the room with you and stuff, they're less scary because you kind of get to laugh together. I used to be a coward too. I used to play tons of horror games flat. VR took me a very long time to be able to play horror games. And then the last thing I would say is, if you're playing a game where like a creature chases you and you have to run away, let them kill you right off the bat. Turn around, face it, then you'll know what happens. And now you know the absolute worst experience that can happen. This guy catches you and there's something shaking in your face. You know the absolute worst that can happen, then you can move on. That's my advice for horror games. Okay. Show me Fallout 4, please, especially how to set it up with mods. Yeah, I got to get into the whole modding thing. I love Fallout 4, never played it unmodded, though. See, I played Fallout 4 when it originally released, and it disappointed me a lot. I didn't care about building settlements. I didn't care about, like, that didn't do it for me. Like, I honestly think I enjoyed Fallout 3 and New Vegas better than Fallout 4, for sure. Bro, some of us have jobs, stream in the evening. Jack, we got to have a conversation, bro. Okay, first off, the audience is all over the world. And second of all, Jack, you come in hot in my comments all the time. You come in so hot. Like you seem just to be angry constantly, dude. But then you're always supporting VR or you're always hanging out. I don't know if you're angry at me, the VR industry. You're coming in hot lately, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you for showing up and hanging out. If you're still here, I know I'm very behind on the comments, but dude, what's going on, man? Let's chill. Let's be happy. Okay. Let's see. I'm missing something on that comment. Gonna skip. I just want Asgard's Wrath 2 to get Bhaptics support. Indie devs can do it, but somehow not this AAA. Okay. So you have to understand that Sanzaru is owned by Meta. It's one of the studios that Meta now owns. I got to stop shaking the screen. It's one of the studios that Meta now owns. And since they own it, I've heard that Meta's pretty hands off, but that's like their golden goose right there. That's their poster child. So they're probably going to be a little bit more involved in what the studio is doing. And right now, they want the studio to keep doing what it's doing, which is basically put out these new events that keep people playing. The amount of people still playing Asgard's Wrath 2 is actually quite high. Someone internal every once in a while shares numbers with me, and it's surprisingly high. People are still playing that game, myself included. I jumped in this week. I played 2 days ago. So that's what they want them to focus on. Something like Bhaptic support is very niche. It's a 1% item, and it's not even sold by Meta. So Sanzaru and Meta get no benefit for adding support. It's one of those things they're going to put on their list, maybe put 1 or 2 people on it and say, listen, if you have any downtime, add Bhaptic support. You got to understand, not most people don't have a Bhaptics vest. If Meta sold it official, which they never would, because that doesn't really make sense, then they'd probably give it more support. I do hope Aliens does come out great. I'm with you there. You'd enjoy watching Fallout. I'm catching up on the chat, man. I hope I don't get banned. Oh, did you drop a link or something? I don't know where my mods are at or anything. Try and get me on. Let me see if I can find them. Let's get that link for Cards and Tankards. Okay, I'll get it because Cards and Tankards is such a good game. I will recommend it. Cards and oh my god. What did I just open I just opened up Twitter and Tigress is there and she's doing all sorts of freaky gestures. So yeah, we're gonna move on there. I'm not gonna let you guys see what's on my screen right now. Cards and tankards. Tankards. Cards and tankards. Where the heck? I can't find their Twitter. Someone DM me a link and I'll post it. How's that sound? Back to the chat. I don't want to waste too much time. I really need like someone to help me. I need a side person. And since I haven't been streaming, my mods really aren't here. Then they don't know I'm going live. Do I still use my Bhaptics vest? Yes, but not much. I use it occasionally. I use it to wear, like I pretend I'm wearing a bulletproof vest and run around the house and shoot my kid with a Nerf gun. And also, you know, when I'm doing some videos and when a new game supports it. That's about it. Let's see. So I'm happy to have standalone VR, but PCVR is what you're interested in. Unfortunately, Tyler, the point we're at right now, we kind of got to wait until mobile VR comes around and gets closer to PCVR. Unfortunately, that's like where we're at these days. Or, you know, just deal with ports for now. Okay, there's still big bugs in Saints and Sinners. Yeah, I hope they're not on Behemoth. I'm with you there. You also can understand they're doing a multi-platform release is rough. What do you think of the Bhaptics vest update? Would you? I didn't see the update on the Bhaptics vest. Okay. Yeah, I mean the Quest 3 headset is a big price increase. So keep an eye out. By the end of the year, we should be getting a Quest 3 Lite or whatever it is. I think it's just going to be a cheaper Quest 3. So yeah. All right. Fallout 4 with Catwalk. Jeez, how far back on the chat am I? I need to be faster. Okay. Sorry if this is what was asked before, but what is your most currently anticipated game? Yeah, Chris, it was asked, but I'll just bang it out. It's Batman up top, Aliens, Zombie Army VR, and then Metro. Behemoth. Such a professional streamer. All right. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Why am I so far behind on chat? If I missed one of your comments, I apologize. All right. Thanks, Twitter. Yeah. Do I use the Bhaptics to collect dust? No, that's not true, man. It's on my wall. At minimum, it's a really good design. I do use it occasionally, but like, you got to understand, I'm always under the gun. I'm always rushing. So if I'm going to do something extra, I really got to want to do it. Side person, you say? Are you offering? I could always use help. Game Cats Unite. I hate cats. I hate cats. Hey, Mateo, what are some of the non-game experiences you tried? And do you have any use cases for VR we haven't seen? Okay, I don't use VR much outside of gaming. I've tried it for productivity. I don't think it's there yet. I think mixed reality is kind of getting there. I actually used my Quest Pro one day. Quest Pro sucks. The mixed reality on this thing sucks. The Quest 3 would be better for this. But I actually used it to play Dungeons and Dragons one day, believe it or not. So I played Dungeons and Dragons. I've shown off my setup. If you guys want to see it, I'll show it off again in a minute. But I brought up my D&D Beyond, which is the official Dungeons and Dragons website, which has my character. I brought it up and put it to my side and sat there and watched the game to my character sheet, which is floating in air now, and just click, attack. And it rolls the dice, and everyone sees my dice, and it says if I hit or not. And I roll the dice for, damage and stuff like that. So it was really cool, because a lot of times we still use laptops and everything like that. So this was just like kind of using it like a laptop, and I didn't have to worry about a laptop in my lap or in my way. And nothing was, it was there. I wasn't going to knock over my cup. And so that was a cool feature for it. But sitting and wearing a Quest for, a Quest 3 for 4 hours, which is probably the max I get the battery out of it. So yeah, it's not ideal. Like I said, I wouldn't do it until we get mixed reality down to the size of the big screen Beyond. All right. Give me a micro OLED Quest headset. I'm not a fan of OLED, man. The persistency is too high. I discussed that a lot earlier, dude. You're the professional, more professionalist streamer. The OO suit. So I wanted to try it, if that's how it's pronounced. I wanted to try it. I reached out to them. They said they're really not giving out many units yet. Genghis was like their poster child. So they, it's not something I would really pay for. I would test it out and send it back to them if need be. But overall, like, I don't know. Again, I'd probably end up not using it too much. What do you think of Behemoth? So I discussed Behemoth a lot earlier. I talked about how I met the main developer, how I couldn't get any information on him. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. Okay, Oliver, good question. Thank you guys. You don't have to donate to get a question answered. I appreciate it though. So when is the showcase? So I've been talking to people and I'm hearing mixed things. I hear it's coming, it's not coming. It's coming, it's not coming. So there's your answer. Your guess is as good as mine. Thrill of Fight 2. I haven't heard anything on Thrill of Fight 2. I would love to see them make a second game with multiplayer. That was their promise. Okay. Let's see. I offer a wild card phone call of taboo topics, and instead you just tell the internet you hate cats. Good luck. I know. Telling people online that you hate cats is like murder fuel. It is probably the most divisive thing you can do. It's worse than politics, religion, all that stuff. Let's see. I dream with the Mega Man Battle Network MMOVR. That actually sounds like a really cool idea. I went into my concept of a RPG, MMORPG title at the beginning of the stream. If you guys were around, I was really pumped for something like that. Did you play Behemoth? Nah, they're over in Europe. They're not here. I didn't get to play Behemoth yet. I know they gave, I think Mike and Chris, that's GT. They gave Mike and GT a little taste recently. Unfortunately, I'm on East Coast of America, which has nothing when it comes to gaming. I mean, nothing. It is terribly dry here. Probably because, just every retail location's too expensive. So, because I grew up in New York City, but there's nothing here. And that's the one thing that hurts me. Like, if I was in California or Texas or even Canada, there's a lot more studios. But here on the East Coast, we got Jack. Do I think Behemoth will be worth it? I can't say. I can't say. How much do I bench? Bart, that's an interesting question. So right now I'm on a deload week because I am killing myself and I'm trying to drop a few pounds. I'm actually sweating like a pig in this chair. But the most I've ever put up is 245. That's 245 pounds for 4 reps unassisted. No one spotting me. No one picking up the bar to the chest. 4 reps at 245. That's the most I've ever put up. Get close to that. Again, if you give me a few weeks to work up my strength on bench again, I think I get kind of close to that. Like definitely 225 for 4. But probably a little more. Peeping Tom Simulator. Skip. Cats are evil. See? You got it. You got it, man. Want something to consider for the future of VR? Think about this. A Quest capable of being plugged into TV for Wii-like gameplay. Interesting. I don't know about that. Food for thought. Okay, I have the App Lab icon on my Quest store now, but they don't have all the games from SideQuest there. So SideQuest and App Lab are different. SideQuest is a third-party store, and SideQuest acts as an unofficial search. Actually, it's kind of like a supported search for App Lab. So you could find SideQuest games, which are games that need to be side-loaded. Then you could find App Lab games, which are games in development for Quest that you don't need to sideload. You can one-click install. However, Meta's official search does not link to them. Let's see. I got Shell. I don't know what that is about. You say Shell, I think Shell Games, which it just recently announced that Silent Slayer will be out very soon. And I've played it. I've actually played most of it at this point. I'll have a video up next week for Silent Slayer. Again, this is Shell Games, so this is I Expect You to Die, those type of titles. So probably not for everybody, you know, kidsy, playful. I'm enjoying it. That's all I could say. I think I'm allowed to talk about it now, but I'll shut my mouth just in case. I think this is the date they gave me that I'm allowed to start talking about it. However, I'm not going to say anything just in case I screwed up. A new medium in VR being created, bridging the gap between VR and flat screen. I think there's something there. I'm just not sure the whole Wii way is the go. All right. I find my Pico 4 balance much more comfortable to wear on a consistent basis than Quest 3. I'm with you on that. I actually really like the Pico 4. I gave it to my friend because I wasn't using it because I really, really enjoyed it. And I think you're right because, you know, the battery's in the back. So the weighting is better. Yeah, 225 pounds is 100 kilos. It's slightly over 100 kilos. Yeah, slightly. It's 2.2 kilos. I mean, 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. So yeah. So let's see. Skydance Interactive is a hybrid remote team with locations across California, Texas, and Washington. Yeah, one of my friends lives in Texas, and she's on the team. She's their producer. So I've known her for years. So she's awesome. Awesome chick. I don't think they were UK based, but they seem to be doing they're doing the demo in UK. Yeah. So I should have said, like, if you do whoa. Like you can't, I'm a guy in a chair right now. You can't really tell, but I'm part Hobbit, man. I'm just like, I'm not tall. I'm 5'7" with my shoes on. Like, you know, honestly, that's it. I really know that I'm not Soul Fox short, but I am, I'm not a tall dude. People are like, oh yeah, we want to see you and Julian and GT arm wrestle. Julian is Tech Man. We want to see you guys arm wrestle. I'm like, those guys tower over me. Like GT's a big boy. GT's a big boy. And Julian used to be tremendous. He's still a big boy, but he used to be like, I want to be a professional bodybuilder. And he was a monster. Okay. Reading my prior comments, why do you think that Meta went out to support Xbox Cloud Gaming? So I don't think they're trying to like go out of their way to include Xbox. I think it's in line with what Meta wants, and it's in line with what Xbox wants. Xbox wants subscription services. That's their main goal. And they want to be everywhere. And Meta wants to add use cases to their device. So that works. Hey, we want to add use cases. Well, you have an Android OS. We have an Android app. Sure. Boom. And it's going to get people to subscribe. And honestly, I've used it. And personally, there's nothing on Xbox Cloud Gaming that I really care for right now. But I did use it and it works pretty well. When I use features like that when I go away. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll stream some Xbox games while I'm away. And so I've tried it. It works well enough. Like I played Hi-Fi Rush, which is the worst game for it because that is a rhythm style game. So you got to stay on beat and the latency will F you up there. But it was still completely playable for me. So game streaming has come a long way. It's good enough now. It's just not the best experience by far. Let's see. All right. What's pass through like on the Quest? On the Quest 3, it's good. On the Quest 2, it's terrible. It's this grayscale-ish type world. On the Quest Pro, it's really grainy. It's pretty crappy. On the Quest 3, it's good enough. You'll get some warping. You'll get some misalignment. It's a little bit darker than the world around you. It's a little grainy, but it's good enough. It's great to just turn on. It's good for mixed reality. You want to turn it on, talk to people in your room. It's good enough. You're a damn good friend. I think you're talking about giving. Dude, I've given away my Pico 4, my Rift S. It's just the type of person I am. Like, I feel like I have abundance that I don't use. I could sell it. I could go on eBay and sell it for a few bucks, but I'd rather just give it to somebody, because I know if I was in that position where I really wanted something and couldn't afford it and someone just gave it to me, I'd be ecstatic. So having the ability to, do that for someone. Yeah. My buddy called me up. I got a buddy in Texas that I know from the internet. And he's like, oh, I know you do the whole VR thing. I had a bunch of questions. And it was a couple years back. He's like, I'm looking for a PCVR headset. I want to get into it a little bit. I want to try it, but I don't want to break the bank. I really don't have much money, blah, blah, blah. So we went back and forth for a while. And I'm just like, what's your address? And he's just like, he gave me his address. I said, okay, wait a week and you'll have a surprise in the mail. And I sent him my Rift S. Okay, so I saw something about tracking. Reference. Nope, that's different. Pico has a better fan base. Better fans. I thought fan. I don't know where I read base. Yeah, sometimes the fans are so strong that you actually like. Sometimes it dries my eyes out. I feel it. My precious. I don't know where we went to my precious. 5'7". My pop was 5'7", perfect height. Okay. It's okay to be shorter. I know. I'm fine with it. Luckily, I grew up in New York City in a predominantly like Italian American location, and no one was tall. No one was tall. Like, was I the shortest out of my friends? No, actually. I have like 2 friends shorter than me, a couple friends taller than me, but even the friends taller than me, like my tall friends are like 5'10". So it's not like I was like, hey, up there, they're a little bit taller than me. I never felt small. And like, there's such an emphasis now, like you see on TikTok now, and I want a guy who's 6'5", and like a tall guy is desired and short people are made fun of. I never felt that growing up. Not for 1 second. I mean, I've dated plenty of girls taller than me because I never had that mentality. It just wasn't a thing. I don't know. Look behind, Mateo. No PSVR2. The PS is right there. There's my... I don't know if I missed the comment, but there's my PSVR2. Not to sound like a tool, but Catwalk actually does help keep me in shape. No, absolutely. It's not a tool. Like, that doesn't make you a tool. Catwalk is rough, man. I'm breaking a sweat having this conversation with you guys. Let's see. Do you think PCVR2 on PC will be any good? Yeah. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a pretty decent PCVR headset. My main issue with the PlayStation VR2 is tracking's just okay. It's not as good as the Quest. It's fine. It's not bad. It's not game ruining. It's good enough. It's not great. Let's see. Are you selling a Quest 3? No, I'm not selling a Quest 3, unfortunately. Actually, I have a second one back there. So the other one right now is sitting on my couch. It's not on the charger, which is there. So, yeah. But no, I'm not selling it. I like to have a backup. People come to my house. We play co-op stuff. So, and in case I'm working and my headset explodes, I got a backup. So I usually need to have something, because this is my job now. Okay, let's see. It's going to be a little too late, PSVR2 on PC. I'm with you there, man. It should have been at launch. It really should have been. I've spoken to a lot of developers. I know so many people give me heat about, being hard on PlayStation VR2, but I bought it and Sony offered it to me for free. Sony's PR offered it for me for free, but they got to me late. They said, listen, it's going to come 1 day late. I said, nah, it's okay. I already pre-ordered mine. It's coming on time. I want to stay in good standings with you guys. I want to have, a working relationship going forward. Keep your PlayStation. I don't mind spending the $450 or whatever it was, $550. I said, let's maintain this relationship. And now they're just like, they got nothing for me. I asked them for information. They got nothing. And they barely talked to me. And, I've come down pretty hard on the PlayStation VR2 because it just didn't live up to my expectations. The first 6 months, I was like gung-ho. I was so excited. I really enjoyed Horizon, but there's no exclusives coming out on it. Honestly, I think the only 2 games on PlayStation VR2 that I played completely in VR were Horizon, Call of the Mountain, and Synapse. And that's it. I mean, sure, I dabbled with Resident Evil 4 Remake and Resident Evil 8, but you know, you already played those games. I didn't want to sit and replay the whole game. So yeah. Okay. It's gonna be sick. Mateo says the big screen beyond doesn't work for PCVR. I didn't say that. I didn't say it doesn't work for PCVR. But this is not my favorite. What co-op games do you play? I did play a lot of After the Fall. I definitely enjoyed that. When it comes to co-op right now, I play Legendary Tales. Everyone and their mother has Walkabout Mini Golf. So when I just want to get a group together, Walkabout Mini Golf. Not much co-op right now, though. What do you think is the most important aspect for standalone VR versus PCVR? Well, the most important aspect is the price, and that's why standalone has been crushing PCVR. Now, to improve PCVR, we just need better hardware and more money in the industry so we can make bigger games. That's where we are right now. So I think we're on track. I think we're doing okay. I just think the improvement is not like exponential like people expected immediately. So Sony's silence on PlayStation VR2 is deafening is the best statement. And people get so, well, you don't know what they're doing. Just because they're not telling you doesn't mean they're not doing anything. And it's like, dude, the holiday went by and you didn't do any promotion for the PlayStation VR2. Now we're hearing they stopped producing them because they have an overstock. And I've spoken to developers and they said, listen, they probably sold 1.2 million units. And it's projected that Meta sold 1.2 or maybe more, 1.2 million units in the holiday alone. So Q4 holiday alone last year, they sold more than the total PlayStation VR2 sold total. I mean, it's crazy when you think about that. So, and people are like, no, you don't really know the numbers. No. There's been consumer reports coming out. The numbers are not good. It's under 2 million. And here's the problem. Oh, well, 2 million is great. They're not making any money off these sales. Chump change. And they're also not doing great. So they got to move into, areas where they make more money in total. You say, well, it's profitable. So that's good enough. No, profitable is not good enough. The market always seeks the most profitability. So if you have a sector that is breaking even, making a little profit, screw that sector. Move to the sector with much bigger margins. That's what they want to do. And that's why EA for the longest time crammed crap down our throat, like live action games, DLC, paid cosmetics. That's because they were milking us. It was their cash cow. That's why they moved so deep into that stuff. So, yeah. So doing, profitable is not enough. And they see that. And listen, you're not going to spend $100 million on a game, which is not unreasonable these days to spend $100 million on a video game. You're not going to spend $100 million if there's only 2 million headsets out there. That means you're guaranteed to lose money. Right now, the sweet spot for a VR game is like 10 to 15 million. And 10 to 15 million gets you games like I Expected to Die, Synapse, Fract. These are good games. I enjoy all of them. It's just not these blockbusters that we've become accustomed to on flat screen. All right, let me back up on the chat, get back to where we were. Guess I went on a tangent there. Don't get me talking about money. Mateo said the big screen beyond of the lens. We're talking about edge-to-edge clarity, and they even show on their website it's 35 ppd in the center and about 20 on the edge. That disparity is extremely noticeable. Don't try and put words in my mouth, man. Don't try to put words. The treadmill thing. Yeah, I've seen that a while from Disney. That's pretty cool. It's actually, I don't think it's feasible just yet. I think it's got a long way to go. I think there's a ton of potential though. Could you imagine like going on a Disney ride and you just step in a room and all of a sudden the floor starts moving you through the place? And like that is incredible. That feels like magic. So there's tons of potential there. For VR though, I think it's going to make too many people like motion sick and I'm kind of upset them for a little while. So it's going to need work. Okay. Do you also have Quest Link connection issues almost every time you try? No. So I haven't been using Quest Link. I stopped using Quest Link a while ago, mainly because Steam Link works good enough for me now. I pretty much have no issues with Steam Link lately. I don't get, like, the visuals are good. I don't get the latency. I honestly barely feel, and I'm not getting like any artifacting. So Steam Link has been good. I use Virtual Desktop sometimes. If Virtual Desktop likes to mess with my screens, I have an ultra wide screen, so it likes to mess with my screen, which annoys me and sometimes screws up my recording. So I don't use that much. Did someone donate $20 and I missed it? Holy crap. Paul, thank you so much. That's too much to donate to me. I do appreciate your effort in promoting VR. We're still a small community, but we believe in time. We believe in time. Nothing but up to the moon, man. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I always feel weird when people send me money. It's like, why would you do that? I'm just a dude on the internet talking to you. Yes, I care about VR. Yes, I'm trying to make it, but this is just my passion, man. I'm just being passionate, but thank you so much. So no, I don't have Quest Link issues. Are you using the actual cable? Are you on Wi-Fi? A lot of people, their Wi-Fi might not be set up right. You got to understand that you need a little extra overhead for the PC because it's doing encoding. So it doesn't run just as good as a native headset. But overall, no, I don't really have issues. I can't say I do. I've been playing OG PlayStation games on PlayStation 5. They do run incredibly smoother. You are right there. And there's still great games to be played. I just wish they were all enhanced. And I got rid of my original PlayStation VR. It sucks that they didn't have backwards compatibility. When that got announced, I was shot. Okay, let's see. You mentioned something about side-loaded apps for games. Do you have to link? Just go to SideQuest. Go to the SideQuest website. They have videos right on the main page to show you how to do this stuff. You're gonna need an actual developer account. So you got to go to Meta, make a developer account. Then you got to go on the app and turn on developer mode. And once you have that, it's simple. You get the SideQuest app, you download a file, you say install this file. There you go. But yeah, I don't really have a video for it, at least if I made one. I made it years ago, so probably not even good anymore. Okay. It seems like the VR channels I watch have all given up on the PlayStation VR2. I don't see gameplay or anything anymore except for PSVR2 focused channels. So, like I said, a lot of times why I don't cover the PlayStation VR2 is because I really only turn my PlayStation VR2 on to compare games and for exclusives. It's a little bit harder for me to do content creation. PlayStation doesn't play super nice. I have to record to a USB stick, carry it over to my PC. They just don't make it easy unless there's an app or something you could download that makes it easier. It's not as easy for me. It's clunkier. It's slower. And again, like I said, I'm really only looking for it for exclusives. PCVR is going to give me the best fidelities. Quest is going to give me the, easier. It's much easier for me to get up and just start playing and go. And then, like I said, I usually get Quest games much earlier. So if a studio sends me the Quest game 10 days early and I get the PlayStation VR game 2 days early, I'm not going to get around to the PlayStation copy, unfortunately. Yep, the larger the company, the larger profit margins is true. I'm catching up on the chat. Have you ever played Contractors in a park or field big enough to run? No, I have not. I think the only thing I've tried is like Space Pirate Trainer DX in an open area. What is the best mixed reality games for Quest 3? Not much. Mixed reality is still in its infancy. I actually did a video recently on this. Probably one that I enjoyed the most is I did Drop Dead the Cabin with my family. I wish they'd sell that separately, not with the base game. Drop Dead the Cabin with my family. I did that. That was pretty good. That was a lot of fun. I have a video on that. There's some things coming out, like Astra is really cool, but a lot of people I think Astra would be boring for because it's just like, it's got great visuals and you fly to different planets and then you kind of learn about what's on the planet, but that's it. It's almost like living in a documentary about space. So it's not for most people. I didn't like the Aspire 2. It won't even let me run it down here in my basement. It tells me my ceiling's too short. My ceiling's 7 feet tall. It's like 2 inches too short to run the app, which is why. So I can't even run it down here. So Aspire 2, meh. But let's keep moving. I have a video up on that. Is Heartshot any good? I didn't enjoy it. I didn't make a video on that, but I talked about it in a video with GT. So there's a video with me and GT called We Don't Agree. We're kind of debating games where we didn't agree on. He enjoyed Heartshot. I did not. Okay. What's your favorite co-op games to play with people in the same room? Blast On is a great one. Nothing on PlayStation VR2. Blast On, Demio, what is it? 11 Table Tennis. Those are pretty good. I'm still doing YouTube full time. That's right. More, thank you for the $2. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support, man. Homelander, you have a great day too. I'm going to be ending the stream a little bit. Holy crap. We've been going for 90 minutes. Holy crap. Least favorite VR game. So, I mean, this probably isn't the worst VR game, but there was a game called Riff VR, I think it was. Now, not that something else has that name now. This was a much older, like 2017 title, which is supposed to be like a Guitar Hero, and I thought it failed on every level. It just got under my skin. Is UEVR a good injection or too unstable? I wouldn't say it's unstable. I just say you got to be, willing to tweak and play. My experience with it has been mixed and not enough to make me say, hey, I really want to play these games in VR. Like some people are like, oh no, you got to see something like Returnal in VR. It's amazing. But are you going to play it? Oh no, but it looks great. And you got to, you try it, but then it's a demo. Oh yeah, I really couldn't play the whole game in VR. Yeah, because it's not a VR game. So that's my feeling. I think it's really cool. It's great to give developers an option to like kind of play around and see what their game could be like in VR. Sometimes it gives you really good experiences. But like one of the experiences they were touting as the best was like Aliens Fireteam. And I jumped into that. Well, one, the controls don't match. So one, like the game saying press X, press A, they don't match. So that's like kind of annoying. Some of the UI is stretched out, so I can't really read everything. No one's playing that game anymore, and it's a multiplayer game. So like, yeah, it looks pretty good, but then the graphics drop off pretty fast. So I'm like, this is the best. This is good. This shows a lot of promise, but it's not a overall great experience for me. Let's see. Yes, UEVR is vastly different game to game. Best workout in VR is physically sprinting in a COD map. I can't do that, man. That's just too much for me. Like I couldn't play a game where that's like playing paintball rather than like playing a first person shooter. I couldn't be running and ducking and climbing that much. I'm in my mid 40s, man. I just can't do it. I can't. I told you I'm breaking a sweat having this conversation. UEVR users are exclusively cultists. They came down on me hard when I gave you the opinion I just gave you. Which VR genres should which VR genres should developers focus on? I can't answer that. I really can't answer that, man. It really comes down to like what they're passionate about, what they can pull off, what's within their budget. One thing I want to say is like when you get a solo developer in VR, you kind of get some cool stuff out of them because they don't know any better. I'm sorry to say that, but like, or they might be working on a passion project. So you got something like Vertigo 2, which is one main developer, but I've heard he's had help from people at Steam that he knows, from Valve that he knows that are friends. Regardless, they say, ooh, that's a cool feature I want to implement. Let me do it. And they'll do stuff that's not cost effective. When you move to when you have a publisher and you're in a bigger studio, you got to make cost effective decisions. So you don't get labor of love. You get people that, are set out with a task and they do their best to complete a task to the best of their ability in the allotted time frame. So, there's really good in both. When you have a bigger budget, bigger team, you can make a better product, but sometimes the product gets released too early and the money people screw stuff up and you can't go off on tangents and do wild stuff. And then when you get a labor of love, like Vertigo 2, I think he was working on that game for 5 years. But he wasn't working on it to make money. He was working on it because he enjoyed it. A lot of people can't do that. He's at that point in his life where on his free time, on his downtime, after school, whatever the case may be, he could sit there and program and learn and have fun and have a good time and you know, get information from other people in the industry. So that's where you get like something so amazing and so detailed, rather than, you know, other studios just trying to push out content. We gotta have enough content in here. Just repeat the same level 5 times over. But Jack, you don't gotta apologize, man. It's all good. I'm happy I'm surprised that you keep showing up. I gotta say, I'm so surprised that you keep showing up in my comments, because like I said, you come in so hot. You come in so angry. You're always annoyed about my opinion on something. You know, like you call me a meta shill constantly, but you keep showing up. And sometimes you agree with me and sometimes you're happy, but I don't freaking get it. Like, I think, what was the comment you liked saying? You like saying, oh, he's here to promote Asgard's Wrath. No, Ghost of Asgard's Wrath. That's what you kept saying. Oh, here he goes again, promoting Ghost of Asgard's Wrath, which I assume is a combination of Ghost of Tabor and Asgard's Wrath 2. But like, you always like come at me so hard, and I'm like, dude, why is this guy so upset? But no, I appreciate it, and you didn't have to send me money. You didn't need the olive branch. It's okay. I'm cool with everything. Let's see. Yeah, I made it back to the bottom of the chat. I made it. Do I play games like Vale? I got a history with Vale. They don't like me. I kind of, I don't know. They asked me to do sponsored content a long time ago, and I turned it down because I heard a lot of bad things industry-wise. I think, you know, I honestly didn't like what the company was doing. They were doing like these big, we're going to have the biggest tournament game. They were using Thrill to kind of promote, because they were using Thrill as an into the VR community. They were selling NFTs. They were doing all this wacky stuff. Oh, we're having a tournament in Miami. And I'm like, your game's not even close to ready yet. Why are you doing any of that crap? Just make a good game. If your game's good, it'll sell and people will support it. And they were so constant. We are never, ever coming to the Quest. No way. No chance. Blah, blah, blah. I've been on calls where the developer said, listen, stop saying Quest. We're never coming to Quest. And sure enough, they, you know, took some features out of the game and they brought it to the Quest because they have to. It's the only place you really make money, especially PvP. You need a large player base, and the player base is not there on PC. End of story. So, yeah. Yeah, so I have a history with them, which they always play friendly with me. Like, but I don't know. Let's see. The team says hi from Wide Game Studios. What's up, man? What's going on? Thanks for being here, guys. Always glad to have some studios up in my chat. It's funny because every once in a while, like, I know studios are watching me and stuff. I just always spit whatever's on my mind. You know, whatever I'm thinking, I'm always honest. And then, like, every once in a while, they'll repeat something I said back to me. I'm like, oh, crap, they were here, and I had no idea. But most of the time, you know, I'm not jerks about anything, and I'll tell you why I feel a certain way. So that's good. All right, let's see what Jack said. You dig my channel? All right, cool. I appreciate it, dude. But man, you come at me hard. Andres, no problem. You are welcome for all the news. We're gonna be slowing down the stream, guys. I'll take a few more questions and then I'm gonna end it for today. But let me tell you, I really enjoyed this. This was really fun. This was cool. I think I'm going to start doing this more often. And like I said, we might do OVR Dark next week, because that's coming to PCVR. Let's see. Pacific Drive is amazing. I did hear that was good with UEVR. I think GT said that. I guess the issue with Meta is they are a company trying to replace your mobile phone with VR. Yeah. So Meta realized a while ago that they had peaked for Facebook. They'd peaked for Facebook, and then they were also getting in a lot of trouble for buying out the competition. They were not producing anything on their own. They were not, you know, producing new technology. So anytime someone had something new, shiny, they pretty much bought it out. That got them in trouble. Anti-monopoly laws. So now they said, well, what's the new industry? We're going to go to that new industry and we're going in all the way. And they're committed. And you know something? I respect them for that. They're the only ones really keeping mixed reality going. And I don't think anyone really understood just how hard it would be to get the technology to where it needs to be. So yes, they're trying to make the next computing platform. And I think in like 10 years, we're going to see some really exciting stuff. I like your channel, but you're wrong about PlayStation VR 2. What am I wrong about? That's all I say. I have never said anything that is not backed up by facts. A lot of people come at me hard. I think they like the PlayStation VR 2, which I also like the PlayStation VR 2. I just was disappointed by the lack of exclusives. I thought we'd get more high-end titles. No, we're getting Quest ports. So when people say you're wrong about PlayStation VR 2, what am I wrong about? And then they're like, well, it's future-proof. Okay. I didn't say it's not future-proof. Oh, well, it's the best version of games. Sometimes, not always. But it doesn't have the same library. Like, you know, I didn't get to play certain games on it. Like, there's no Assassin's Creed or Asgard's Wrath 2 or certain games that I really want to enjoy. And if we're talking about best version, a lot of times I'd rather play it on PCVR. So I don't know what I don't know what I'm wrong about. The numbers come to me from multiple different sources. The sales, how much Sony's putting into them. I've had multiple people, developers, tell me they think Sony's pulling out. Like they're just not going to spend anymore. And that's why they're bringing it to PCVR out. And then people are like, oh, it's going to be a game changer when the PlayStation VR 2 comes to PC. Why would it be a game changer? We have 1 million PCVR headsets. None of them are game changers. Hardware is not the issue. So tell me what I'm wrong about. You're underrated, bro. Whatever. I feel good enough. Firewall was puke. Oh, I got the inside scoop on the Firewall story. I was told I'm allowed to share it, just not who gave me the inside scoop. But Sony paid them $15 million to make that game exclusive. But then Sony rushed them like out the door. Again, you know, some of this comes from people who are probably jaded, and this is also secondhand knowledge. So this is people who, you know, told other people and then retold the story. So I can't say how much is true, but you know, Sony kind of shot themselves in the foot on that one. And I heard that the developers, you know, that's why they had to close the studio and everything, because they not only did they use Sony's $15 million, you know, they borrowed money from other places, and the game was launched too early, and then the game flopped, and now they can't repay certain investors, and they're done. I got here late, but don't still think PSVR2 is not going for Steam players. What do you mean? Like it's not going to have a big boost for Steam? It's not. It's not going to have a major impact. I was a complete noob to VR. Then years ago, I bought a PlayStation VR 2, played Star Wars Edge of the Galaxy. I know. Beat Saber, and then went ahead and played Resident Evil. Resident Evil 8 is absolutely amazing. And I've said time and time again, if you only ever played a PlayStation VR 2, it's good enough. It offers enough games. It has enough exclusives. It is definitely good enough. The problem is when you're someone like me who has access to, I've had 16 headsets at this point. I have access to all different VR, and I kind of know what works for me and what doesn't. And I know what works for the overall industry, where the money is, everything like that. When you get to that point, PlayStation VR 2 is not quote unquote successful. It's good enough for a consumer who bought it in most cases. Yeah, wishful thinking game changer. It's beyond. Let's see. Good VR can only be native. The best PCVR ports is the worst. Yeah, I'd see. What's up, BMF? What's up, brother? We're getting close to ending the stream, but I'm glad to see you popping in, man. I miss you, Matt. It's been 8 months since we met. God, that was fast. Yeah, so back on my tangent. Where were we? The VR is not getting AAA games for a long time. The pre-launch hype for the PlayStation VR 2 was mind-numbing. stopped watching a few YouTubers because of it. And let me tell you, I was part of the hype train. I was really excited, but I was excited, based on real information. And 6 months in, I just... All right. The expectation was that a lot of new VR things would come, like next gen, but seems this year is all on pause. No, VR is just in its normal ups and downs, and we have a few exciting things coming, but honestly, like the whole gaming industry kind of got flipped on its head this year. Like AAA studios got their asses handed to them. Sony in general did not do well. Microsoft gave us nothing. Like they're just like, oh, just join our service and we'll give you lots of content. Starfield was crap. Meanwhile, who's kicking ass? Baldur's Gate 3 surprised everybody. There's still 100,000 people playing that game a day on PC alone. And then what's it called? We have Helldivers 2, a $40 indie studio. They're on the cusp of not being indie anymore because I think they're over 100 employees and they probably spent $100 million on the game. But that's crossing the line out of indie. However, they're like an AA plus game. However, they're crushing it too because they show like, if you do things right, you give the players what they want. You really invest in the game itself and not these ways to milk the consumer. Yeah, people will flock to your title. The whole gaming industry has just been wacky this year. But there's at least 5 solid games coming for the end of the year. We got the Quest Lite or whatever it's going to be coming. So yeah. BMF is coming here just to hang out. It's just a bunch of Matts chilling together. But there can be only one Matt, and it's me. Okay. PSVR2 is in the box right now, sadly. See? Yeah. We're not trying to be jerks here, guys. It's just when you have the option of many different VR setups, you gravitate towards the one that you like the most, works the best for you, is the easiest, whatever the case may be. I can play on any setup, and it's not my preferred one. End of story. Helldivers 2, brother. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. If I buy a Quest 3 today, is it still worth it or wait for the next Quest? Well, we're not going to have a Quest 4 for a while, but there's probably a Quest 3 Lite dropping, which might not have mixed reality, whatever the case may be. So maybe give it a little time. I did hear about the Immersed app drama. I just didn't feel like talking about it. I talked about Immersed very briefly in the beginning of this video. So yeah, let's see. I played games on Mac for 20 years. Learned to be happy with very little. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that is probably the best definition there. Mac is very limited. Yep. Any good games using Quest 2? Quest 2's in the same space. I mean, nothing is really built specifically for Quest 2's in the same space, like co-location. You got Space Pirate Trainer DX, which is really cool, but you need a big space. Sorry about the click sound. You need a big space for that. Blast On works really well, but there's no need for it. It's more of a spectator sport for that. Demio has co-location. I'm just trying to think of anything else really with co-location. Not too much, though. So I wouldn't say you need to be PC savvy for PCVR, but you got to be a little bit more knowledgeable. And yes, PlayStation VR does make it easier, and so does the Quest. PCVR has always been that, or not even just PCVR. PC has always been that. PC always gives you, more powerful hardware, more options, more modding, more graphical settings, more for you. It's more for tweakers. More for people who like to change their settings and fool around and have more control. PC's always been like that. Is it always easier? Is it always harder? No, I don't think so. I think these days, like they've really kind of, come a lot closer because you get PlayStation games that don't work right now. The Quest needs a constant reboot every once in a while. So yes, PC is still kind of in that same scenario, but not 100%. Okay, let's see. Well, hi, Indonesia. Tweakers. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. I am a sweaty mess because I came straight from a workout into this chat with you guys, and I've been going full speed for almost 2 hours now. So I think we're going to call it here. It's been a lot of fun. You guys were absolutely amazing. I think I'm going to do this once a week now. What do you guys think? What do you think? Chris, you're late, man. Chris, my shirt was off the entire stream. I was all sweaty, glistening nipples. You missed it, my man. I'm sorry. You're going to have to go watch the whole VOD to find that, well, you could watch me shirtless, the whole VOD, okay? Make sure you come back. No, the shower didn't take. No, I didn't shower yet, dude. I didn't get a chance. On the shower topic, I finally fixed my boiler $1 billion later. But that's a story for another day. Thanks, guys. Your support has been absolutely amazing lately. Honestly, a lot of people sent some money today. You didn't have to do that. I really do appreciate it. That is amazing. But all you guys really have to do if you want to continue supporting me, just drop a comment on my videos, give a thumbs up. Just show me you're here. It really means a lot to any creator. Honestly, it means so much. I appreciate you guys so much. You allow me to do this for a living, which I never thought imaginable. And this is something I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to work in the VR industry my entire life. And who knew I'd get to do it in my 40s. So thank you guys. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I will have a video up tomorrow. We're doing another Smash or Pass, my new series, where I just go through a bunch of recent releases, give you my first impressions. I will have Silent Slayer next week. I already played through most of that game. And I probably will stream OVR Dark or just talk to you guys like this. But it's been fun. Thank you guys. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. All right. Thanks, dudes. Thanks for being here. I think I got an end screen somewhere. Yeah, it's right here.